Hey guys, Zephyrnix here, and I want to give a shout out to the guys at STOked. For those who don't know, STOked is an online podcast and a YouTube show which actually keeps tabs on Star Trek Online, which is very good. I actually plan to follow the same pattern, hopefully, and do one for Star Wars very soon. So anyway, I've been watching for a while now, and it's definitely worth watching, especially if you're both a Star Trek fan and or the fan of the MMO. If you're looking forward to it, myself, I do plan to take advantage of the online beta, of the beta that's coming out. Well, it's out right now, the open beta. I've already pre-ordered the game, so I'm going to go ahead and touch it on it. But I wanted to say one thing. I think it's to Jeremy. I think your name is. You got, excuse me, the one on the left or the right, the left. There's one thing I want to say, man. Regarding, I understand what you meant regarding Solo. Now, for those who are watching this, basically what he said was he was really disappointed at how they showed Solo. You know, so I mean, I do understand that because you know, Solo in the later episodes. I think it was Next Generation, as well as the show itself. You know, he was a different person. He was more of a, you know, an officer, decorated officer. You know, by the book kind of guy. But I want to say this: what you're forgetting, Matt, is that things changed. As I understand it, they weren't even supposed to be. Okay, according to what I understand from the movies, they were sent out on the Enterprise prematurely, because of the anomaly when the ship came back in time, and you know, it caused that whole ripple effect, that whole time ripple effect, or that destiny effect, whatever you want to call it. At any rate, what happened was is that I believe that they did Solo correctly, and I'll tell you why. Because he, at the time, he was young. He wasn't the officer that he was in the actual show, because the timeline shifted, so they were sent into the Enterprise prematurely, thus making the actual so the character wasn't fully developed yet, you know, as he was in the original one. I'm not sure if you understand what I mean by that, but it's just like I really think they did it. Actually, I did it well. If they in fact had gave the same storyline and then they went ahead and made Solo the exact same person that he was in the actual series, then I would have been upset. I really would have. I would have been really upset, because you got to remember, he basically was what, like, they were all teenagers for the most part, so they were like, you know, teenagers with not really too much experience going on with that, you know what I mean? It's just like they were young. Like I said before, they were adults when they got into the Enterprise in the original one, and in this one they're just teenagers who, well, got put on a Enterprise prematurely due to the whole situation, you know, where, you know, I explained all that already. So yeah, I think, you know, I think he was very good. I think he was very competent in the movie. I actually think that you should take another look at it and give it another chance. So I just wanted to go ahead and touch on that really fast. So what's going on, my viewers? I wanted to say hi to Jeremy real quick and tell him I respect their podcast a lot. You know, I definitely keep my eye on it. I'm actually watching it right now. I had to take a break from it because it's an hour long and I gotta work. So I figured I'd take a quick lunch/breakfast brunch break. So what's going on, guys? My question is, what do you guys think about the movie, the Star Trek movie? For those who don't know, Star Trek movie came out. It's out on Blu-ray right now. I'm really thinking about picking it up on Blu-ray. Right now I have the standard definition version. I'm thinking about picking up the high definition version because I'm, you know, at first I really wasn't into high definition as I used to be. But there are movies now that are coming out which really take advantage of the whole high definition thing, and one, of course, being Star Trek. And I'm assuming it's the new Star Trek is going to be online. And so I want to know what you think about the movies and think about the characters. You know. Speaking of that, let me go back to Jeremy for a second. Uhura. In my opinion, man, the original series basically made Uhura like her name, Uhura. You know, she basically was a black lady with tits. Sit there, you know, something to stare at. You know, she was the, you know, I mean, it's just they gave her. I mean, you say that they brought her from a nothing character to a something character, and I do agree with that. But I think they just turned the volume up on Ahura, which I believe that is good. Because I mean, think about it. They added the technology. They really weren't. They didn't really like work the technology how they could have in the original one. You know, you understand what I'm saying? They could have did more with what they had, but obviously they didn't know how to at that time because it was just brand new. But they could have did more what they had, you know, and I think that because they gave the Star Trek movie more in terms of like technology, in terms of like, you know, how to put this. Let me re-say this, okay? So hopefully we can understand this like this. They added more to the lore, okay? With the Klingons and the Romulans, they added a lot. They kept building up on it. So when they had to go back to do the movies, you know, building up to it in the series. So you've gone from the original Star Trek all the way to, what is the last one on this timeline? Voyager. So I believe Voyager's the last one. So I know what the one about Archer, but I'm talking about the last one in terms of storyline and, you know, progression storyline. So I tell you what, let's screw all that. Let's just say from the original Star Trek to Nemesis. So when you're going back, you know, you also have to you have to take all that technology right there, and you can't go back to the original series and just use only the technology that was there. You kind of had to, you know what I mean? It's like you had to bring it up to date. That's what I'm trying to say. You had to up to date it. You know, even though it was a past, you know, from the Nemesis project or Nemesis movie rather, it was up to, you had to bring it up to date basically from the original series. So with that, you had to bring, with technology and its languages all up to date, you had to bring a horror up to date as well. And I believe that was a good choice that they had. I mean, if that's the case, I mean, shouldn't you really be upset about all the characters? Because all the characters actually, all the characters, in fact, were, you know, different from their counterparts. I mean, Spock was a lot different. Kirk was different. I'm not sure how different, but he was pretty different. But I mean, to be honest with you, like I said, to my viewers, I want to know, what do you think about the movie? Me personally, I really did enjoy the movie. The movie actually got me back into Star Trek, and it's been a while since I really, okay, Nemesis came out, and I was good with Nemesis, and I was done. You know, it was like the last hurrah, you know, of Star Trek. I was hoping he was gonna make a Voyager, you know, one with Voyager in it. You know, maybe Voyager and, well, USS Voyager and Enterprise E, I think it was, or maybe F, I think it is by now. You know, coexisting. You know, so I really wanted to see that. But there's a lot of questions. Basically, I want to know what you think about the movie. Long story short. Just touching on the game real quick, there's a lot of things that I want to know too. Like, I'm not sure if you guys know, but there was actually oh my god, what was this? In Star Trek The Next Generation, in one particular, and I think I need you guys on STOked to answer this for me. In Star Trek The Next Generation, there was a part where Picard, I think, was put into the past, the present, and the future, I think it was. So that was actually really cool, because they had to put like the old cast with the past and the new. It was really cool. It was, I think it was the final episode too. I think it was, and it was a really good final episode. So wasn't there Enterprise like Enterprise F or Q or something like that, or Alpha or something like that? But wasn't there like a futuristic Enterprise there? And have you heard anything regarding that particular Enterprise being in the game? That's what I want to know. Like I said, I'll be joining the game soon, but I want to know, have you guys ever heard of that particular Enterprise, that future Enterprise in the game? So let me know. You guys have a good night. Zeph is out.